Hey friends, you might remember the previous video where I tried to get this thing to work and it doesn't, so it's time to get rid of this piece of crap and move on to my next test bench. And when I say piece of crap, obviously, it's a very expensive computer, but got something new. You guys also might remember this. This right here was my first computer that I built when I was back in South Africa, Mini ITX Z390 9900K. Well, this is called the Motif Monument case, but I've got their latest one that they've updated and we're gonna check that out. This is the Motif Mobius. You see, it's slightly bigger, but that's because it can support radiators. So we're gonna actually be doing that with this new AIO that I got from Lee & Lee, the Galahad AIO 240 RGB. We're gonna be taking this system, putting it in here, adding this, and we'll be good to go. Except for they also included this. I don't know what that's for. Or this. What's this for? I guess we'll find out. Whee! PC done. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Oh, and it works. Oh yeah, that's a good looking computer. Oh, good job. Also, good job, Beast, because they're the ones who sent over this case. This is the Motif Mobius versus the Motif Monument, which was what my PC was currently on. So the Mobius obviously includes several different features. You got the support for the AIO water cooling up front. You also have support for a fan back here or another radiator in case you want to do a 120 back here. And it is a more enclosed system. Also, they put the power button on the front this time, which is great. Look at that. Because on this one, you had to go around and then there's the power button on the back, which isn't exactly the easiest thing to do. This was one of the first prototypes that they did, so I did have a couple issues with like screws stripping, but I talked to them. They assured me that that was just like a normal, like we're figuring out fabrication stuff, like they didn't tap the holes again after they powder coated it, which means that I was having a hard time getting the screws in there, but that'll be resolved for production. But honestly, I freaking love Beast and what they're doing with their cases. I've had the Monument right here, now I have the Mobius, and you can see the Atlas right here housing my water cooling system as well. So Beast has me really sold on their cases. I love them so much, the Mini ITX form factor, and it retains basically everything that I loved about the Monument. You can still fit a triple slot graphics card in here, which I really like for a Mini ITX setup. They do have the powder coated version, but honestly, I gotta say personally, anybody who's listening to me at Beast, I much prefer the stainless steel look. I like the whole thing. Obviously, it's a huge fingerprint magnet, but I think I prefer the raw look over the powder coated look, but that's just me personally. Obviously, you can check that out at link. So my test bench setup, I'll leave a link in the video description for you to check out the Motif Mobius as well as the Motif Monument as well as the Atlas that they have over at the Beast website. Now it's almost time. I'm almost done with this. I've got one more video that I need to do. And also let's talk about the Galahad Cooler for just a second. I love the stainless steel finish on the side here. I love the white fans with the white RGB, and I love this magnet cover up that they have right here. So obviously you can see there's the Lee & Lee logo right there, but you just get rid of that and bam, that's a gorgeous looking AIO pump right there. Hey friends, Editing Brett from the future, and I realized that as I was going through this video, I didn't actually detail the specs of what's in this PC. So obviously it's the Motif Mobius that's the case in this, and the Lee & Lee Galahad 240 AIO cooler. But then as far as the actual test bench specs, we have the Asus Z390 Strix Mini ITX motherboard with 16 gigabytes of G-Skill Trident Z Royal RGB RAMs at 3200 megahertz. And then we have the Corsair SFX SF750 power supply, which is a small power supply, and you actually don't need to use a small power supply for this case. It has room for a full length. However, because I like to transport my Mini ITX system to system, keeping it on an SFX power supply makes the most sense. And then as far as the GPU, what we have is the RTX 2080 Super from EVGA. That's just kind of the main card I keep in here. I'm not doing any testing on that right now. We have a video upcoming on a GTX 970, how that performs, so that'll be put in there. And then we have other ones like a 5600 XT as well as an R9 390. We're going to be testing that, and this makes it very easy to swap in and out because it's open test bench situation. And then as far as everything else we've got, which I don't detail in any video, we have my Apkin Core 6-pound keyboard, which is phenomenal, with a new space cable that I was able to pick up, and then I use the Logitech G903 mouse for everything that I do here. And then the Pixio PX278 is the monitor of choice with this, but that's going to be a video that's coming out shortly on this entire test bench setup, but those are the specs. I've linked it to the previous videos, but I realized I didn't cover it here. So back to pass prep. So I'm almost done with my test bench setup right now. I have one more video that I need to do, so stay tuned for that. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. Get subscribed, stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. Big thanks to Lee and Lee and Beast for sending over the case as well as the cooler to complete this build. I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. I could probably put a fan here. They also did mention that you can do custom water cooling, especially if you get like a pump bracket that attaches to one of these fans, fan cutouts. That would work really well. So I'm happy. Hope you're happy. Hope you have a great life. Bye.